Mia, you're ranking dealership jobs hardest to easiest or easiest to hardest?
Easiest to hardest.
Easiest to hardest.
Yes.
So which jobs in a dealership, this transcends all departments.
Yes.
So detail, parts. Is there a body shop in this dealership?
No.
No body shop. F&I?
Kind of. I'm not including every single position. I'm just doing the top 10, I think. So the top 10 and then down to 1.
From easiest to hardest.
Yes.
Okay, what's number 10?
Number 10 is the owner.
So does that mean that's the easiest or the hardest?
Number 10 is the easiest, and so number 10 would be the owner.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 9?
Number 9 is the general manager. Do you see where I'm going with this? I think you know where I'm going with this. He's like, oh, great, here we go. Number 8, I have the sales manager.
It's 2 stages higher than the owner.
Wait, is the owner's idiot kid on there?
No.
No. Well, clearly this is a...
Owner's idiot kid is number 14, actually.
Owner's gardener comes next. No, I'm kidding. Number 8 is sales managers and finance.
Okay.
7, I have parts.
What part of parts?
The parts people.
Anyone in parts
Anyone
is
in
number 7.
Including the manager.
It's like when people say all guys with beards look the same.
All parts people. It doesn't matter, even
Well,
if
they
it's
do
the
all
manager.
answer the phone the same way.
They do. Parts.
Parts hold.
It's so true. Oh, man.
Parts hold.
Yep.
So you think that the parts manager is different than the guy in the back shipping receiving?
The poor guy schlepping cores.
Or the counter guy or the wholesale guy?
They're all the same.
They're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
In your eyes, they're all created equal.
They're all created equal.
This is
Okay.
great.
Keep in mind, this comes from personal experience, so gotta keep that in mind. Okay,
Don't devaluate your list. This thing's solid. Run with it.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
Yeah,
I'm
have
right. You're wrong.
confidence.
All of you are wrong.
It's a
Okay,
damn
I'm
fine
kidding.
list.
Number 5 is the service manager.
Okay. Wow. So the 5th easiest job,
5th hardest.
hardest,
Uh-huh.
service manager.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Number 4, I have porters and shuttle drivers.
Just scoring at home. So being a porter or a shuttle driver is harder than being a service manager.
Mm-hmm.
Continue on.
I knew this was
will
gonna.
say,
I knew this was gonna upset you guys.
Are you trying to push people's buttons?
Yeah.
That's the purpose here?
I mean, it's
Little
honest.
Mia's little evil side?
Yeah, I am a Gemini.
And that means you have an
Dual.
evil side?
The Gemini symbol is a twin. It means you have dual personalities.
Does that mean
really?
Does that mean I have another personality?
Do you really feel like you have a dual personality?
When I say dual personality, I don't mean that I am like 2 different people. It just means that I'm adaptable and I can be very nice or I can be not nice.
There's this, oh man, I wish I knew the name of it, but there's this crazy documentary on, I think it's on Showtime, and this lady studied serial killers for a long time, like her life, I guess. And she shows how most of them have, as a protection mechanism. She says this thing that is crazy, and I think I told you this the other day, that the graphic nature of their crimes and murder has a direct correlation with their abuse as kids. Mm-hmm. And so she shows this one guy that murdered this couple and literally took their body parts and was drawing on the wall or whatever, just super graphic and crazy.
Yeah.
And you think in your head, how could this human ever do this? Mm-hmm. And then they show the guy, and he just kind of this unassuming guy. His back literally looks like a motocross track, and I think at 3 or 4, I might be getting that part wrong, but either way, his mom would throw boiling water on his back and whip him.
Oh my gosh.
Over and over again, the guy, and he had 2 personalities, and she would show her interviews how they would come in and out, and she could talk to the other one and summons.
Yeah.
And those personalities are for a protection mechanism, where the one is kind of protecting the real person. And then she shows at the end how Ted Bundy had it, but nobody else but her caught it. And one time in court, Ted Bundy flipped into the other one, and nobody caught it, but she caught that because Bundy was abused by his grandfather or something in graphic ways. So that's what I thought of when you said split personalities, but that isn't what you mean.
I said dual personalities.
Dual
Yeah,
personalities.
split personality is different. Dual personality just means that I have an adaptable or adaptive personality.
So you can adapt to different situations?
Yes.
And is that like because you're a very like social, inviting, person. Is that a part of that?
Yeah.
Like more extrovert?
Yeah. I'm
Would
definitely
you consider
an
yourself an
extrovert.
extrovert? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But
Okay,
at the
well,
same
go
time,
ahead with your
I
dual
can-
personality.
I can flip that and scare people too. So there you have it. So yeah, number 4 was porters and shuttle drivers.
One more thing I want to say about
yes.
porters. Porters and shuttle drivers are the best source of information in the whole dealership. They know who doesn't call their customers back. They know who's sleeping with who. They know who's stealing. They know stuff that nobody else knows.
They are the word on the street.
They know.
Yep. Like
Especially a shuttle driver.
Oh, especially because the customers are probably venting to the shuttle driver. So the shuttle driver
Yeah, they're like,
knows,
they're like, how long have you worked there, Mia? And you're like, oh, I've been here a couple of years. Is it normal for the service advisor to ask me to pay cash up front to get my car fixed?
And then to not mention anything?
Yeah.
Is this weird?
Well, shouldn't there have been paperwork?
Right? Is it weird to not get a receipt when I give cash or something?
I mean, we underestimate.
They only take cash.
And you have to put it in my pocket. I don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, number 3, lube techs.
So now, did you catch what she's doing?
No.
So she is looking at us to see what kind of response we're going to give
yeah,
her
I
when
caught
she
that.
says the ridiculous things. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say
So this
ridiculous.
list is meant to provoke.
Yeah.
It is, but it's honest too. Like I genuinely do feel this
So
way.
this is really how you would classify
Yes.
everything?
So
Okay, that's
we're saying that a lube tech, and by lube tech, we're assuming we're not talking about a 50-year-old lube tech. We're talking about a early 20-year-old kid on the lube rack has a harder job. It's harder. It's more pressure, more stress than a dealer or a general manager.
And
Or
I will
service
get to
manager.
why, because there is a common denominator between all of these, which you're probably already kind of picking up that, but I will get to it. And you'll probably still disagree, but that's okay. That's okay.
You know, we're talking a lot about psychology and the mental part of this and everything like that. I've actually got a joke out there for all my mind readers.
You can't just tell that you're gonna.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I'm doing it right now.
That's really creepy.
For those listening, he's just staring into the camera. You know, a lot of people just listen to the show, Christian.
Yeah, but they know the silence. The mind readers hear it. It's not silent to them. Continue on, Mia.
Can we recap? Dealer, general manager.
Sales managers in finance, parts, salespeople, service manager, porters and shuttle drivers. Number 3 is lube techs. Number 2, this is where it's getting real spicy. This is where it's really gonna rile people up.
You're going to say shop foreman?
No, he's not on the list.
Oh.
Well, I guess he could kind of be looped into number 2. Number 2 is technicians.
Okay.
And could we guess what number 1 might be?
It's gonna be service advisor.
Number 1 is service advisors.
To the man with a hammer, the world is a nail.
Sure. Exactly. So the reason that my list is the way that it is because in my mind, the less you have to deal with customers, the easier your job is. And I know that sounds super pessimistic and like negative towards the customer, but I feel like a lot of people underestimate how difficult that can be. I think that is the hardest part of any job, is customer service.
Oh, man, for the longest time, I have thought that the hardest job in a dealership is a salesperson.
Why?
Because they start off with, they're 100% commission. They don't have built-in traffic. They have to go, a good salesperson has to go out and create business. They're always working 7 days a week. They're there until 11, depending on the store. They don't have weekends. I mean, it's not the kind of job where you raise a family in a normal way. Like in service, we have some degree of normalcy. It's rare that service advisors work 6 days a week every week, but salespeople literally, unless the state mandates that they're closed on Sunday, they could be working 7 days a week constantly in commission.
Mm-hmm.
I thought being an advisor was harder than being a salesperson. But I don't think either job's easy.
And that's the thing. I'm not saying any of it's easy. It's just what's easier. But back to the whole salesperson mindset, it just goes back to experience. Because every dealership I've worked at, advisors always work 6 days a week. From open to close. So 12-hour days, 6 days a week, which is really difficult. So working, and it was even longer than 12 hours. I was used to 6:30 to 7 o'clock at night. 6:30 a.m. to 7 o'clock at night or later if I had to close the shop.
Yeah, but for the most part, that's not the norm. And
man, I really just had a really negative experience these past 10 years.
Most sales people are just getting started when people are getting off work. And so it's not uncommon for a salesperson to be there until 11.
Yep, especially if you got a deal. So the good thing about being a salesperson is that, so at the place that I worked, we closed at 9. I was super happy to take the person that came in at 8:55 because they were leaving with a car in most cases.
Right.
But by golly, you could be there from 9 a.m. to 8:55 and do nothing that was productive. And if you don't put in that last 3 hours after closing, like you walked home with nothing. I think that now,
that's difficult.
Yeah, pay-wise, I feel like salesperson's the hardest job because like it is absolutely what have you done for me lately. As a service advisor, there's a little more stability to the pay thing.
I agree
but man,
with
I
that.
saw so many salespeople do that zero to hero thing where they would have like a 15 or 18 car month and then they would sell 3 the next month. And like they're trying to figure out how they're going to pay their mortgage. So that part of it's pretty stressful. I would personally put the salespeople higher on the list than they are, but I still do think I'm with you on the advisor thing. It was pretty hard.
I didn't really take pay into consideration, and I know it seems like that because I think the farther down the list, the less they get paid. Well, not really. Techs and service advisors, make more than some of the other people.
More than porters.
Yeah.
Sometimes too, these lists aren't. It's not really fair because it's a different kind of stress. Like I can tell you, when the first dealership that I owned that was mine, in the beginning things were really, really rough. And I literally had to put payroll on my Amex. And when you have 100 employees and you don't have the cash to make payroll, that's a stress and a feeling, especially when you care about the people that work for you, that I don't think any advisor or salesperson could ever endure that sort of stress. Like imagine you need $150,000 to make payroll and you only have 50. Like it's a different kind of stress. So I think it's all kind of relative, right?
It is.
These lists are fun, but at the end of the day,
it is relative. But it also, once again, depends on your experience. Because my experience of owners has been the complete opposite, where they're filthy loaded and they don't care about the dealership at all, and they never even show their face. Sometimes you don't even know what they look like because they never even check in. You know what I mean? So it all just depends on what you've experienced.
that's exactly the kind of gig I want.
I know.
I want to own a bunch of dealerships and nobody knows what I look like.
But you should also know what's going on with your dealership. And if you
Cameras.
don't,
Just cameras everywhere.
not like visually.
I love sitting with dealers when they on their laptop. You're like, "What are you doing? You on Facebook? Like looking at dirty pictures?" And they're like, "No."
They have
got all the
75
cameras
different
up.
cameras. They're controlling drones.
Like, oh, what the worst.
I don't know. I
Okay.
just my opinion.
Thank you for doing the list. I thought that was very fun.
See how many people I upset with that
We
one.
learned some things about you.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for watching this clip of Service Driving Revolution. We're uploading new stuff every day, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss out. If you have a question you'd like us to answer on the show, call 8333-ASK-SDR and we'll answer your question on the show. That's 8333-ASK-SDR. For special deals on our books and training, head over to offers.chriscollinsinc.com. Now that's offers.chriscollinsinc.com. I'm Chris Collins, and I'll see you in the next video.